Ramlaji, good evening. Welcome to the live session today on VG Exports Mastery channel. So let's wait for a few minutes for more people to join. Then we'll start. Yeah, Yusuji, good evening. Welcome to the live session today. I hope you all had good weekend and you are fresh with the thought of getting new knowledge. So Uh, friends, we had discussed in the last session that we'll be taking up today the specialized session today on lighting products. So, especially focusing on the standards, lighting standards. So, what are the different lighting standards which are generally demanded in different countries, and what are the background of those lighting standards? What are the different standards? We'll discuss what are the different standards, and especially focusing on the lighting products. So, when we say lighting products, we will also try to understand this industry, that what are the different segments in the lighting products which are exported and internationally traded. So while India is now emerging as a significant exporter as well as the importer, so with time you will see that Indian exporters will be doing very significant business in the lighting products. So India has a lot of potential, but as you already know that China is the biggest exporter of lighting products and the US is the biggest importer of lighting products. So in this whole list of the top exporters and top importers, while India is importer among the top importers for certain products, but overall, in the 10 top importers, India's name is not there. Also, in the 10 top exporters, name is not there. So, but it is a good news also because it means it shows that there is a lot of scope for lighting products. So, with the world scenario, the geopolitics changing in favor of India in coming years, you will see that many international companies will be setting up their shops in India, manufacturing different types of lighting products, which is very, very vast field. So I will explain to you the different segments of lighting products which are there for export purpose. And with these segments, you can actually find the data also, international data also, because most of these segments have different ITCHS code. So you can actually explore the different ITCHS codes on these different segments. So data will be easily available, comparatively easily available when once you know the different the breakup of the industry, that what are the different categories of the different segments which are there in this market, and which segments are growing faster, which segments are not growing that much. So those kind of things. So let's start with a small presentation which I have prepared for today's session, which focuses on the lighting products exports, or you can say international trade, with the focus on the lighting standards. So another thing, apart from this presentation, I will also make available one complete document which will list out all the standards, lighting standards, which are generally demanded for. In this case, the document which I'll give you is specifically for a product called lamps. So I'll tell you the different segments. So lamp segment, what are the requirements? But for the other segments also, similar requirements are there. So I will, in my presentation, I will tell you the general requirement, but I will upload one very detailed note on the recorded version of this session today, and you can download that documents. So I think that that document will be very, very useful to you in case you want to go a little deeper into the information which is required to understand the different lighting standards. Okay, so let me share this presentation today. which I have prepared. Okay, so this I will just explain to you. So I hope you can see this presentation. So I will first discuss about the different segments which are there, the industry makeup, which like internationally traded products under the lighting products category. So in general, the three major categories which you, if you want to search out the data, if you want to find out the reports, if you want to understand the country profiles, so these three categories you will find mostly. What are these three categories? The first category is the lighting fixtures and components. So this is the largest and the biggest category. So this is the most traded category. And let me tell you, India has a lot of potential for this category, lighting fixture and component. I will explain to you why it is so. So the second category is the lamps category. The value wise, this category is not very big, but this is the most growing category for the simple reason the LED has totally revolutionized the way lightings are done. So after the advent of LED and further advancements which are happening, so this category which was quite quite stagnant for many years, so in last 5 7 years this category has been increasing very fast. So the growth of this category is very high. So I will explain to you that who are the major players in the lamp category. I will explain to you later. So the third category, friends, is the lighting control systems. So I will explain to you that what are the different subcategories in these three categories. But these are the major categories. If you want to find out about the lighting products, any details, including the lighting standards, which I'll be discussing, even otherwise, if you want to know who are the exporters, who are the importers, if you want to get the customs data, for example, so that you have to find out in these three categories, and you will be able to get the HS code also for these categories. Then, friends, some of the other categories which are also very common as a segment, something called portable lighting. So, portable lighting means mainly those kind of lightings which has its own source of energy. So mostly like the chargeable lamps, or the table lamps, or any wall lighting which has its energy source within itself. So it can be charged, or it runs on battery, or whatever it is. So this segment is called portable lighting. And there is another very big segment which is called the pendant lighting. And India is one of the major exporter in the world for the pendant lighting, which is nothing but things like the lighting products which are hanging from the ceiling. So whatever is hanging from the ceiling or on the wall, these are all called the pendant lighting. India is a very significant market. I think world's one of the top market for pendant lighting. So you already know it. India has many showrooms which has the chandeliers and whatnot. So India has a lot of appetite for purchase of pendant lighting. So these two categories are also often used. So when you find data, you can find from the portable lighting segment also, or pendant lighting also. You can find. But the major category is still, the most professional category, where you can get OECD data, or you can get some data from statista.com and many other websites where you can get the data for these three categories. You can find. And even the information and the reports are available. Normally they are not free, but you can still try. You will get the complete export import reports, international trade, trends reports on fixtures, on lamps and lighting control system. Lighting control system is also quite big segment. So, friends, if we talk of the subcategories of the lighting fixtures, so if we talk of these fixtures and components which are included, so there are mostly four subcategories. One is the residential category, or it is also called the consumer category, which can be even have the subcategory, that is the outdoor residential or indoor residential. So that is you can you when you find data on the internet, you go for the residential lighting fixtures, you will get a lot of information and data, and many news items you will get on residential lighting fixtures. There may be data separately for the outdoor and indoor, so that is possible. Then the second category, friends, in the lighting fixtures is called the commercial category. Now, in the commercial category, friends, we have the professional category or the institutional. So, professional means, mainly professional means the office requirement. So, office lighting, or you already know it's a very very big market, the office lighting. And institutions includes the factory and the very big complexes, campuses of the companies, very large manufacturing units, which are generally called the institutional. So overall, it is called commercial lighting fixtures. And then, friends, comes the lighting fixture in the segment of the infrastructure lighting fixtures. And generally, we have two categories, subcategories: low power infrastructure lighting fixtures and high power lighting fixtures. And finally, friends, we have, although there are more categories, but these are the most common categories, segments, the market segments, and that is the transportation lighting. So, transportation lightings are also growing very fast in the world today. Looking at the transportation needs of the cities, so these are the lighting fixtures, the first category. If we talk of the other categories, for example, if we talk of the lamps, so as I told you that the biggest boost to the lamps category has been because of the advent of LEDs and similar new technologies which has come. So technology has created a lot of scope for the new categories in lamps. So we have the electric lamps category, we have the decorative lamps segment, we have LED, which is the one of the biggest now at present, and the highest, the fastest growing segment is LEDs, and there are some others. So these are the the lamp categories segments, and then, friends, lighting control systems. Okay, so in lighting control systems, we can categorize according to the type, or we can categorize communication protocol, or we can categorize application wise. So very similar to what we had done for the residential lighting fixtures, indoor, outdoor. Similarly, lighting control system can be indoor and outdoor as per the application requirement. Or if we talk of the types, then it can be LED drivers, it can be sensors, it can be switches, it can be dimmers, it can be relay units, or the gateways. And if we talk of the communication protocol, how these are functioning, they are either wired or they may be wireless. So we can have a one segment for the wired lighting control system, or we can have a segment wireless lighting control systems. So obviously the pricing will be different, the specialization and expertise will be different for all these things. So I hope you can understand these different segments. Very big segments are there. I will show you uh, in different segments. If we, for example, if we talk of the top exporters in the lighting products for the fixtures and fittings, if we talk leading exporting countries of lighting fixtures and fittings worldwide in 2020 in billion US dollar, you can see that China is a very very big player, followed by Germany, which is not nowhere near, Mexico, Italy, US, Poland, Netherlands. So the World market is totally exploited by China. Very, very big market it has. So I think it can be easily seen that China enjoys something like almost more than 50% of the world market, world trade in fixtures and fittings. So it's very, very big. Almost you can see 40 billion. So overall, so I think it is more than 50% actually, because the actual figure of the trade is more than 50 billion dollar, out of which almost 39 billion dollar is China only. You can see here. So it is almost 70-80% of the world market is served by China in this. So this is really very very amazing actually. China is doing such a good job in this. So you can see here. Then if we look at the top importers of the fixtures and fittings. So why I'm talking about the fixture and fitting? Because in this three categories, the biggest segment is fixtures and fittings only, because the value wise. So United States is number one importer, very big importer. You can see here almost $10 billion. You can see here, and followed by Germany, France, anything like 3.5 billion. So minuscule. But US is very, very big, as you can see here in this. So, friends, when you find this data, you can find the data for lamps also. Uh, so, like for example, as against $50 billion business which is happening in fixture and fittings, the lamp business is not more than about $5 billion, and the control systems, lighting control systems, volume may not cross more than $11 billion. So this data you will have to do jugglery to find out. So, but you will find that mostly in other categories also you will find the same countries exporting. Germany. In lamps you will find Poland. I will show you. So third number in lamps, Poland is a bigger exporter than Mexico, Italy, and United States. So number three is Poland in the case of lamps. So some changes will be there, but otherwise you will find the similar trends. Same is the case of the importers also. You will find in the lamps category also, as well as in the lighting control system. You will find the same trends. So this data you can find out with these categories. There is not a big issue. Now, if we look at the world trade of the lighting fixture, which is the biggest segment, so in 2017 it was 45, but it has already crossed almost $50 billion. And the main exporter, as you can see here, is China, and main importer is US. And the other importers I had already discussed with you. If we look at the lamps, for example, it's around 4 to $4.5 billion. Main exporter China, Germany, and number three is Poland. And main importer is US, Germany, and even China. China is also importing lamps, because certain categories of lamps China imports. So after introduction of the LED lamps, trade increased manifold, that we have already discussed. Then if we talk of the lighting control systems business, so approximately it is 10 billion US dollar in 2020, and main exporter is again China, and main importer is USA. So friends, in lighting control systems, a lot of electronics is involved. So I think you can understand that in the fixtures and lamps, the role of solid state electronics is not much, but in lighting control system, a lot of electronics are involved. So it comes in little different category. So manufacturers are little different type who are specialized into electronics. So I hope you can understand why this segment is separate. Now, the if we talk of the the lighting standards, so let me first discuss about the lighting standards for exports to mostly Europe and US markets. In Japan also you need the lighting standards, but any of these standards will work. So most of the most common lighting standards are like Energy Star, which is actually for the greenhouse emission, that is for the sustainability. But then you have this UL for safety, performance, and again sustainability. So Energy Star is number one in the sustainability, and you have ENEC, ANSI, ETL, IEC, and ETL is basically CE. C mark is there. So this is for safety purpose, which is very common for the European Union. So friends, you can see that these are the standards. So if we look at the lighting standards which are commonly demanded for the lighting standards in EU, we have the C safety testing. Then we have the electromagnetic compatibility certification EMC, and in North America, UL is very much liked, but it is not mandatory by the government. So US government is, it's not a mandatory thing, while C is a mandatory thing in EU. So, and for certain items like LEDs, this EMC certification is mandatory in EU. Then in you have ETL, then you have FCC, and then you have Energy Star for climate change, greenhouse emissions. So, friends, as you can see here, these are the most common lighting standards which are demanded. So, if we, for example, talk about the UL, suppose, so let's take the case of UL lighting solutions. So they have, the focus on safety, testing, and certification, which is the biggest business of UL lighting. Although they are doing other things also, like performance testing, they are doing global market access require certain marks like Energy Star. Certain countries will have mandatory requirement of C mark or EMC or any other, even UL marks. Certain countries may have a mandatory requirement. So that global market access work, like certification will be provided, and of course sustainability. So sustainability means you will have a counterpart for the Energy Star mark for sustainability, and many countries may accept, or otherwise they will go for the Energy Star. But Energy Star has also accredited UL mark. So UL mark for sustainability will also work for that. Now, so basically, UL lighting solutions are in the business of testing, inspection, and certification for the exporters. So if you want to export your goods, you have to check with the case to case basis, like which country you are exporting, what item, and what are the different testing, inspection, and certifications are mandatory or non-mandatory, or what are being asked by the international buyers for certain products. So there may be many mandatory testing also in certain countries, especially in EU. And the solution UL solution provides not only the UL marks, but they also provide CB and IEC based standards also. So this is, I'm talking about the UL solutions, and like UL solutions, many other marks which I discussed with you, other laboratories also provide these kind of services. I just taken the example of UL. So UL is available globally with local support, state of the art lighting equipments in testing laboratories around the world. They have, and UL solution has numerous CBTL laboratories globally that can assist with CB and IEC testing and certification. So whatever the requirement of the different products, it can provide it, and is familiar with the local performance requirement. So it means local performance means not the home country, but actually the host country. So suppose you want to export to a particular country, your solution will be able to help you out, that what are the performance standards, and accordingly they will provide you the advice also. Then the in the recent times, the standards needs have increased. So global lighting laboratories testing for safe, not only safety, performance, and sustainability, but also connectivity for IT products. If IT based products are there, because many lighting solutions are Wi-Fi based and artificial intelligence based. So what is happening? Cyber security is also coming into this materials, because safety will include the cyber attacks also. So new technologies as new technologies are coming, they are upgrading themselves. All these big UL marks, they are upgrading themselves to include cyber security, or the materials and more to improve turnaround times and reduce complexity for the customers. And they are also issuer of the IE, CEE, CB certificates worldwide. So wherever it is required. And I've already mentioned about the Energy Star, which is becoming very, very important now after the climate change which is happening. This Energy Star requirement is increasing drastically. So in some countries, it will become mandatory very soon. The Design Lights Consortium, this is also on the same lines, and they are able to provide full service EMC and wireless laboratories. So, friends, my idea of taking the example of UL lighting solution was UL is a world's number two biggest, most reputed mark, UL mark. So, UL is is a world standard, and I have taken this example to show you that how these different services are available. What you need actually basically to start with is that you have to meet the standards. So standards for safety, standards for performance, standard for the the sustainability, connectivity, cyber security. So many things are coming, depends on what item you are exporting. So this is what I really wanted to tell you about the exports of lighting lighting products. If we talk of India, India is very well placed for the lighting fixtures, friends. The reason is very simple. Uh, the geopolitical change, so whatever is happening, so China is likely to lose a lot of market in the international scene. And what made China a very big exporter can happen with India, may not be to that extent, but very good share of the market can be taken by India if they are able to attract investments, international investments in latest technologies for the lighting fixtures. So that is very, very important. So lighting fixture component, India is very well placed, and lamps is little difficult because countries like China, Germany, and Poland, they already have very large investments which they have made. So India may not be able to compete on lamps, but lighting fixture definitely India can compete very easily, and lot of scope is there. And as far as the control systems are concerned, India can do a good job because these require software also, not only hardware. It's a combination of hardware and software. So India is very good in software. So if India can tie up internationally with the top companies, India can become a significant exporter. But for the small and medium exporters, this is the most promising segment: lighting fixtures and components, and also portable lighting, and also pendant lighting. So, friends, this is what I wanted to share with you today. I am not going into the major details of this. So, what I will do, I will, friends, attach one downloadable file which contains all the standards, lighting standards, which are needed in different countries. So, I have given full details of each standard. So, this is a complete, very detailed note you can download. So I think that will be useful to you. Uh, Pradeep ji, good evening, and Ajish ji, Sunendra, Jaina ji, good evening. So, friends, the objective of our today's session was to tell you that the products like lighting standards, which has a lot of potential actually, they need certain special requirement. So those requirements are the lighting, so-called lighting standards I wanted to discuss with you. And the exporter should not be bogged down with these standards. So although let me tell you, even Chinese exporters found it little difficult to meet all these standards, and they were always cripping about these standards. And even the government issued a lot of complaints to the WTO that uh, the in the name of the lighting standards, the countries of the world, they are trying to regulate the entry of the Chinese products, because China is a world's top exporter, almost as I showed you, very big volume, biggest share is of China. So China was always complaining about these standards. They were saying that it is a conspiracy. This is, you know, the trade barrier, which is against the WTO principles. So many debates have been there, and most of these debates started from China. And India will also face these problems. So Indian exporters will always face these problems of the lighting standards, but it is not difficult. One reason why India can really do better than China as far as the standards are concerned, because in India we communicate better than China when it comes to the agencies which are involved. UL agency, I mean, they have offices in India. The other laboratories, they are there, and they have local staff. Communication is much better in India. So the compliances with these standards are comparatively easier when we compare with China. Chinese system is little different type, and they might face problems for different reasons as far as the standards are concerned. India is not likely to face that much problem, but yes, there will be problem of the standards getting the marks, but it is possible and doable. So so in the earlier session also, friends, I remember that this request was made about the better understanding about the standards for the export products for different items. And this time this request came for the lighting products, so which actually is the main target of these standards, because there are many safety issues and the performance issues, of course. Like when you buy a lighting product, it is working, how long it will work, nobody knows. So those concerns are always there. Consumer concerns are there about the lighting products. So these standards are going to remain, and they may even become more stringent in time to come. But that will be opportunity for the exporters. So friends, if you have any questions on the discussion we had today on the lighting products with respect to the lighting standards, different types of lighting standards which I discussed with you, whether it is C or UL or Energy Star or ETL or CB, whatever different standards are there for different segments of the lighting products. If you have any questions, you can ask me. I may be able to answer. Uh, but I want to tell you that it all depends on the product. What product you are exporting? What is the process of making that product, which will decide which standards will be required in which country. So there is no standard formula that every item in lighting products will require this standard. No, in lighting products we have got different segments, and different segments, as I explained to you, like uh, control systems. Lighting control system is mostly electronics based, so standards will be based on the requirement of the electronics. Lamps is a different category, so standards are there for the lamps. And then fixtures are a different category, the standards are there for the fixtures. So this is what I was my main idea of explanation to you today. That was my main agenda, to tell you that these standards are purely based on the category segments and sometimes the product itself. So what is the need of the product? I'll give you one more example. Certain special standards of UL are required for the industrial electrical items. So Azizji has asked one question, that does India import LED lights and signboards LEDs in particular? Yes. So as I told you that India still has not able to meet the price standards of China. China is world's top manufacturer of LED lighting, followed by Germany and Poland. But if you talk of the LED, then nobody can beat China. China is number one, and it is really difficult to compete with China. So India imports LED lights and signboards, LEDs in particular. So if we talk of the signboards, now I'll tell you something. In signboard, what India does, that in signboard, what happens? The signboard is a project. So when you make signboard, you need for making signboards, you need lot of different materials depending on what type of signboard it is. There are many solutions. So it is not imported totally by India from China. It is just that the materials which are required. So in the signboard, you have the lighting elements which are specially made for the signboards, and they are also of different varieties, different colors, different wattages, and different applications. So every day some new ideas are coming in signboard business. Signboard itself is a very different category. So signboard required lot of value addition in India itself. So it is never imported, as it is never. Uh, these are, the Chinese plug and play systems are there. You can use that system also. You have to create the signboards artwork, and you have to create the designs, and cutting machines are there. Even computerized cutting machines are there for the acrylic sheets. So some sheets are imported, special sheets for the signboards. So different materials are there. So it's a very specialized business. So it is not that signboards are imported in India as it is. No, no, never. It is not that somebody will order signboard and somebody will place order in China and it will come. No, no, no. It's not like that. So the components are there, which are standard components. They have to be managed in such a way to get the results. So there is nothing called signboard imports. So signboard material is imported. So the materials which are used, which are of very different varieties. So it's like this. So I hope this answer would be satisfactory to you. But yes, LED lights, yes, India imports a lot of LED lights from China. And by the way, India also have manufacturing of LEDs. So it is not that India does not manufacture. India also manufacture LEDs, which are very specialized LEDs. But for the general use items, as you already know, India is importing LEDs in different forms also. Decorative lighting, as it is coming from China. You already know it. Uh, so this is the scenario. So if you have any uh, further questions on the topic of today, that will be uh, okay. I'm very happy, Azizi, that you were satisfied with this answer. And uh, so in case there are no questions on this topic, so so Imranology has asked one question. What I perceive is there is US only. No, 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 no. No, it's not true. US is the biggest market, followed by Canada, Germany, UK, Netherlands, US, but US is a very big importer. So it's not like that US import 70-80% of the world trade. No, 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 no. So if you look at the data, for example, fixtures, so out of the 45 billion export in 2017, US imported only 10 billion. So rest came from countries like Germany, UK, Netherlands, Canada, these countries. So it is not true. So but US is the biggest. That is the only thing. So if we talk of the export potential from India, I would suggest that don't try US. You should not try US at all as of today. But yes, some big companies from India, they can now compete with China because US is shifting its supply chain from China to India or other countries. So it has already shifted to Vietnam. It is already shifted to some more countries. So, but there is a possibility to export to US in a very big way. US will not import small quantities. So the export potential for India is for the other markets, especially Europe, where the orders will be in small consignments. So that is the best suited for India. India can capture that market. And in the fixtures market, India should, like, if somebody is new in this line, they should start with fixtures. They can now take advantage of the free trade agreement between India and Thailand and some more ASEAN countries and get the material from there. The and do value addition in India. So you can source some of the parts in India, especially the plastic items or in the fixtures or the metal items. It is possible in India. It's already being done. So fixtures, you can have your own very innovative designs, patented designs. So Middle East market, Aziz ji, if you look at the data, Middle East is not a very big importer. I mean, if you look at the top importers, uh, Middle East is not a very big importer, but yes, Dubai for re-export will be definitely importing. But again, Dubai will be importing from the cheapest source. So probably it will go for China or so UAE will not have any problem with China. US may have a problem with China, or many European countries will have problem with China. So you can think of Middle East, but I'm not very sure because Middle East may not be that big market. Uh, One more thing I want to tell you that the one of the major time for the fixtures and lighting products import, depending on the category, you know, like Christmas Eve. Christmas is a very big festival where a lot of import happens, and I'm not very sure about Middle East market because data is not very favorable to think of Middle East. But yes, there will be small market. Indians, like, if you want to start small, maybe Middle East is possible, but I'm not very sure about Middle East. So the best to start with will be European countries. Some of the European countries, you can maybe start with countries like Hungary, Czech Republic, or Italy, or Netherlands. Netherlands can be possible market if your quality is reasonably good and you can meet these standards, lighting standards. There should not be any problem with that. So it all depends what items you have, and obviously you cannot manufacture completely in India. It's not possible. So you have to add something like 30-40% value addition. So whatever the import, you have to import also. So in lighting products, you will have to import. So you import, add value, and export. That is the best possibility for lighting products, in my opinion. So I think we are through with the questions today. So I'm really very thankful for the audience who participated today in this live session, special live session. So we will meet tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. So my request to you is that this channel is available, Exports Nation Live channel, daily channel is available on VG Exports Mastery YouTube channel. So if you can share and the link of this channel to your friends, colleagues, and contacts, it will be very beneficial for them. And in general, you can also share the link on your social media. You can recommend this channel on your social media. It will be very helpful to me, to my channel. So thank you very much, and good night, goodbye. See you tomorrow at 8:30. Thank you very much.